Davis.
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Yo. Hello.
We're here recapping some of the best of Sunday night programming, namely Sunday Best. For those of you who have been watching, that's what's on, and everybody's tweeting about it. So I figured, hey, let's talk about it. Now, many of us around the country have already seen the first round of discussion, and you saw Kiara's great performance, and the young lady that is up now is doing her good praise and worship singing. That's what my daddy calls it, worship. I guess worship. But her name is Brittany. She's Jesus is the Best Thing. What did you guys think of tonight's episode?
I think tonight's episode was really good. I enjoyed a lot of the artists on there tonight.
I think it was good too. I do think it was interesting, some of the comments, and we can get into that further because me and Dewar had this thing where we felt like a lot of other seasons got away with murder, and I think even on tonight, some people really got away with some stuff we could not have gotten away with on our season. But other than that, I think it was really good tonight. I wrote some stuff down, so I got some comments, but overall, I think it was good tonight.
Well, let's start with the first girl that was up just a minute ago, Brittany. Jesus is the Best Thing. What did you think about her performance?
Brittany, best thing ever. Okay, I think I remember Kiki saying she needed a little more from her, or somebody saying that, and I would have to agree. I'm telling you, like on our season, that she would not have made it. Like that performance would not have. I'm just telling you. But other than that, I mean, it was great. It was good, but. At this point, they said this to a lot of people that they need to, this is it. Bring your A game. So I don't know if that was her. I think she can kill way better than she did, but I think it was good.
Duard, you're being pretty silent over there on tonight.
You know what? Because I left my notes on the couch.
That's hilarious.
Oh, and I'm trying to get my wife to go to the couch and get them. I just
This is so funny.
I'm not even paying attention to nothing I'm saying. Honey, get my notes, please.
There you go. That's how you gotta do it.
Hey, I was trying to keep from being urban on this here thing, but yeah, I did make some notes. Thank you. Can you bring me the whole tablet?
But you know, Dewar, from our season, I don't know if anybody remember her, Brittany Deer. She reminds me a lot of Brittany Deer.
Yeah.
Brittany.
You know what? You know what I missed. Thank you for that. What I missed is who didn't make it, who didn't. So I just took some notes here about this. This was a Martha Manigi song, and Jesus is the best thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like the song choice, even though I thought it was good. I think the thing that bothers me about this competition, not in such a bad way, is just that I would kind of like to see it be a little bit more genre specific. And so if we're doing these types of songs, I wish that everybody could get those same types of songs so that we could really kind of put them, I guess, equally on the same level playing field. Because when it comes to the top 20, it sometimes could just be a bad song choice that knocks great singers out. So
Absolutely.
That's all. That's the only problem I had, because I thought she was a solid performer, and maybe we could have seen more. But honestly, that song didn't require more. So she gave what the song required.
You can't squall on that song. There's nothing you can do.
What are you supposed to do with that? Nothing. Because the song.
Now she could have squalled.
Requires.
She could have squalled.
She could have squalled.
She could have squalled at the end. Right, I agree. I'm totally kidding.
What do you all think is missing from this particular season? I'm tweeting now, making sure everyone knows that we're on talking. So y'all feel free. And what I didn't do, which is like 101, I didn't introduce everyone. Deward and Dathan are from season, is that season 3?
Yes.
It is
the best
Sorry,
season.
David. It's the best
Now
season.
wait, now guys, who won season 3?
Leandria.
Okay, all right. Well, all right.
Yeah, you know I'm right.
Listen, I'm digress.
Okay.
Listen.
Who on tonight's episode of Sunday Best stood out to you all?
Oh, let me go to my notes. Let me see who stood out.
If you gotta go back to your notes and it's been less than an hour, didn't nobody stand out to you?
Listen, I'm not a young man anymore. I got stuff to do. I can't Be fooling around with
Dathan, who stood out tonight?
Well, honestly, like I said, it was a lot of lackluster performances. I mean, not taking anything away from any of them tonight. Nobody just like, whoa, did you hear that? I didn't get that tonight at all.
I didn't either. But one lady, but there was actually two ladies that stood out to me. It was Anita Jones.
Yes.
She was very refreshing to me, and she's beautiful. And I feel like I feel like she does have it in her to take us to church.
Oh, that's Ian.
Wait a minute.
That's Ian.
What did Anita sing tonight?
Anita Johnson sang Every Moment.
She sang what?
Every Moment by Forever Jones. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes. That's it. And also the African young lady. I definitely don't know how to pronounce her name.
It's like Ayodele.
Yes.
10,000 Reasons. That was amazing.
I enjoyed her tonight.
Just her tone and everything.
The baby doll shoes girl.
Who?
The girl with the baby doll shoes.
The who, Nathan?
I don't know. Yeah. What is she saying? There is no.
10,000 Reasons.
Okay, I remember her.
Yeah, she sang 10,000 Reasons.
Okay, was it just me, or did anybody realize that he misquoted the song's name title, and he never gave credit to
the artist? Yeah, Matt Revin. That's Matt Revin.
That was kind of weird to me, but no, she did good. I enjoyed it, but she wasn't like a huge standout. But
no,
she sounded great.
well, here's the reason: we have now been conditioned after 6 seasons to go for the squalor, and so when we don't that one, we're like, no matter how solid she was, which she was solid, and I thought the girl before her that sang the Forever Jones song was solid, but we're now wanting to be like, who's gonna squall, who's gonna run?
Prime example, Kiki made the statement, "Can you take us to church?"
Exactly.
What does that actually mean? Like,
but honestly, that's what she's looking for. And if you
remember, we want to holler.
But if you remember the girl at the end, what was her name? But she sang "There Is No Failure."
Serena.
She at the end, it was like Yolanda was like, "Hey," she liked that with the purity out of her voice. She liked that it was pure. She liked what she did with it. But however, at the end, Kiki was like, "Well, I wanted you to squall. I wanted you to say blah 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 blah." So there's a question on where are we going with this and what are we doing?
Which I thought she kind of did, but one thing I saw tonight that the judges continuously said was, y'all keep reaching for these high notes and missing them. And I gotta agree, we had a real guiltless generation. Didn't nobody feel bad for missing the note? They went for it a second and a third time.
Well, you know what? I probably, I feel for them because I think probably under normal circumstances they probably would have gotten them just with the moment with all the pressure, and maybe they thought maybe if I go after it again it'll show up, and it didn't happen.
Peter,
and I'm not really trying to be funny. I'm just saying,
when are you gonna get a hang of this thing?
Well, I'm like Kiara. When I realize it's not going to happen, then I just let it go. Like, okay, well, let's work on the low register tonight. Obviously, that's all that's working.
But what about trying to showcase everything that they have in such a small amount of time?
I mean, well, you only got 59 seconds to make it happen.
You do have 59. You got a short time to do a whole lot.
When you have a short time like that and you have to kind of give a beginning, a middle, and an end, like, for instance, Kiara kept saying another thing that she kept saying the whole time was pace yourself. But when you walk out there saying, I got to make this happen, I got to make this happen, of course you're going to go to the mountain. How tough was it for you guys to do, Duarte and Dathan? How tough was it for you to, like, make that happen in a short span?
It was very tough. Go ahead, Dathan.
No, go ahead. Go ahead first.
I'm going to say it was very, very tough because in this situation, like has it been the seasons following, you don't really know what they want. So nobody is giving you what the rubric is. So you don't know exactly what you should be doing. They say competition, but then you don't really know. So you have 59 seconds, and sometimes you want to come out guns blazing because the end result is what you know they want. But for me,
do not get back out that bed.
Huh?
Okay, somebody's gonna come back. Just go to sleep.
Okay. Anyway, so what you want to do is
I'm a pawpaw.
Yeah, you got to do what pawpaws do. That's why I said, wait, no, he's giving instructions. No, but what you want to do is, I think for me, what I did was I tried to pace myself so that I wouldn't give out. It was very, very difficult. And gratefully, I had enough range to have a bottom, a middle, and a top in the way the songs were. I tried to pick the right key choices that worked for me. And I think that's important too, you know.
So what about
that is important, honestly. And they told the Brandon guy, you know, he kept hitting notes and he kept hitting a pocket that wasn't a good pocket for him, and they were telling him don't do that. And you got to know your voice in a way where if it ain't up there, go somewhere else and be confident enough to do that. But I'm reminded of my audition. In my audition, I was telling y'all before, in my audition, Don McClurkin, he was like, I was singing my song, and I started off really low. I was singing the Lord's Prayer, and I wanted to make sure I have range. So sometimes we make those last-minute decisions, not good ones always, to change up something to make sure, you know, you got room. But for me, it took away from the quality of my voice by making it too low. And he stopped me dead in my audition and says, hey, if you continue in that range, you're going to fail this audition. And he was like, take it up. In which it's like he read my mind, and so I was like, okay, fine. I took it up, and it worked. So you got to know your voice in a way, and not make those. But it's tough in that sense where I'm making last minute decisions to change up because I'm nervous, but you got to be confident and confident knowing your voice and just kind of go with it, pretty much.
Good deal. Let me ask you this: when it happens that there's someone who is not African American on the show, do you feel like the show is somehow slanted in the song selection?
Clearly slanted with this young lady. I think it was comical a little bit.
Drew sang "I Need You Now" though.
Yeah, I was gonna say he did not have a typical song.
I would agree.
He also does not have a typical voice for how he looks.
I feel like the cuts in the song were really weird.
For
the "I Need You Now," he just did the "I Need You Now, I Need You Now, I Need You Now, I Need You Now." This is the only parts that he did.
Oh well, no, actually, I was referring to the one last week. I know we're not talking about that one, but they gave her a Vicky Yohe song.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Really?
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with that too.
Like, why would you really like that? Was so stereotypical to give her a Vicky Yohe song.
Hey, Nathan and Dewar, for this particular season, it seems to be moving very fast. Was your season this fast moving in terms of eliminations, and now we're already at the final 6 and it's episode, what, 3, 2?
Wait, it's final 6?
No,
it's not final 6.
No, we're at 10 because they did two. They did it differently. They did 2 eliminations. They brought up one group, and then they brought up another group. But honestly, our show went longer. Well, it felt longer at least. But you know, they did the audition process. It was each city, a show at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we're four episodes in, and we haven't even gotten to the live show. Well, not the live show, but the shows yet. So it was definitely longer. I mean, basically, we were taping. We were still in taping. We were watching it as we were taping. I mean, we were at the hotel room. We were in the hotel watching.
The girl that is on now, her name is Candice Benson, and she's singing "The Breaking of Day," recorded by Brown Clark. What did you think about her?
She can sing.
She can sing.
I think Candice can sing. Her specialty is in the drive, Doc. Candice got something. I really enjoyed her performance. I think once she moved past her own personal fears and hesitations, it was evident that, like, no, this is what she does on a regular basis, and she moved beyond that. It felt very, very authentic for me.
I agree with that.
She seems to be one to watch because she was the only one of the only ones on tonight's performance who had just a very, very solid performance. She was one of 3 to me that had a solid performance. And yet she's so young. There seems to be a lot of younger people on the show this year.
Yeah, and she showed a lot of versatility to me too.
Yeah, maybe she is the standout of tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to just give it to somebody.
I think between her and Serena, who I thought was also very solid and didn't have as many pitch issues perhaps as Candice Benson did, although Candice is phenomenal. When she gets to the top of that range, you know, there's a little wiggle room on the pitch, but I think she's great.
Speaking of pitch, and I didn't want to say this, but I just thought about it. Drew Chambers, like, I'm just be totally honest. I really believe. What's funny? I really believe that he was very pitchy in that song. Don't get me wrong. The dude can clearly sing. But I think it's weird that when you single out somebody, you single out somebody and say you're pitchy, but and somebody else who's not pitchy, who is pitchy, and you don't say anything, it makes me think that they want to see more from him, which is, I guess, is a good thing because I want to see more from him. I want to see what he, brings out.
Well,
wait a minute. Wait, I don't know. Are we going to see more of him?
He was eliminated tonight.
Oh well, that's weird for me then because they never address his pitches. As a matter of fact, he got. I mean, don't get me wrong, he sounded cool, but that pitch thing was, even his last note he held out was not on pitch.
I feel like it was a lot of sliding.
Yeah.
But I mean, let me round this on out. Dude is great. Like I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him from his first audition. I was like, I honestly thought he was gonna go way farther than this. And maybe they did too. And maybe that's one thing. There are times where the judges will overlook stuff because they like you, or there is something that they do like that they want to continue to see. So, but him getting eliminated is confusing though, because we don't get to see that now.
We've been on it, and we want to give, like you said, round it out. Give people an idea, Dewar, like how rigorous is what they're going through? Like how much slack should you give a person in this kind of process?
David?
Well, I'm very biased and I will stick to this. Like our season, like you had, I mean, when you're competing against somebody like Lee Andrea and Dewar Davis, and honestly, Go Wire, this is not a baby competition at this point. Like they really would nitpick on little, very small things. So for us, it was kind of intense, a lot. But on these seasons, it's the same thing because at the end of the day, you're competing. It is a competition. And so you want to bring your A game when everybody can sing, you have to stand out. And so you got to make sure that there are no hiccups because they can take one little small thing and just really deal with that and you're gone. I mean, they could have taken Drew Chambers. I mean, well, he off, but they could have just picked one little issue and say, hey, that's sending you home tonight. And so it's that pressure to be perfect, but to still flow and not be in your head. It's very difficult.
Let me ask y'all, how much did you get a chance to, how much opportunity did you have to choose this actual songs that you sang all the time?
I chose one.
Only one.
I only chose one as well. But let me tell you what happened though, because it's weird. Like they had a list on the time when we chose a song, and so I chose one, and then I ended up changing it to another song. So Donald Lawrence was on set around that time, and he was kind of helping out, and he suggested that I pick one that I didn't pick. So, but the one that I was going to pick, they gave me on my next show. So I don't know. Maybe they were just kind of thinking that the idea of what I was looking at, or I don't know. But so I kind of picked two, but really didn't. But we only picked one.
I picked one. I was happy to have chosen the one I chose, which happened to have been That's When You Bless Me, which was a standout song for me on the show. It was a great moment for me, so I was very, very, very happy that I could choose.
Yeah.
And it's a great single that you produce now. It sounds, you're doing your good Josh Groban, John Mayer, Kim Burrell, Nat.
Come on. Mash up.
Josh Groban.
I love it.
The lady that's up now is just a reminder to me that they continue to put someone on the show that perhaps may be a little older, perhaps a little more traditional. Is it fair to put someone on like that, or did they just have a better audition than they do on the camera? Because those people typically tend to be somehow behind the game of what these younger guys are bringing. Or am I incorrect? I'm not a singer like y'all are, and let me just preface by saying that I'm not.
Okay, whatever.
I love everybody, and I'm going to leave something for somebody's youth thing in a minute. That's all I'm going to do.
Come on, David. What do you have to say about this?
What did he say?
When you see an older person on the show, they seem to be given like a traditional song or something, and then they may or may not perform well on it. And I'm not talking about Elder Goldwire because I love him and he was great. I'm talking about generally there's a more traditional older person and it doesn't always seem to go. They don't always go the furthest on there. What is your thought on it?
I think at the end of the day, just honestly speaking, it's to make a show. They're trying to cater to a large audience here, an array of people. So they kind of, you kind of got to make it work that way.
Yeah, but even on the other side of that, let's remember that most of the gospel music buying power happens in the South, and so there is an element, whether they don't do enough of it on Sunday Best, but people like what's his name? And I don't want to say Joe Lagan. What's the other guy's name? But some of these quartet singers, they watch these shows. They are in tune with what's going on. What's the guys from Mississippi? Jackson. What's your guy's name? What's the people's name? All of them. Like all of these guys, they watch the show, and truth is that most of gospel music is still sold in the South, and so there's an element of people that are still in love with traditional gospel music. So is it fair? Absolutely. I know we tend to trend on wanting to do something different. We want to make the shifts and changes, but most of the buying power happens to be in traditional gospel music because that's where the radio is still going in some of those markets. Right. And I think you have to, wisdom says you better cater to this buying group.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
No, I totally agree. I was just at a tour. This is my McDonald's tour that they just had with Mississippi Mass. They had Erica Campbell. I was just at it in Atlanta. And when I tell you, Mosey Burks, who is, 70 years old, they had young cats coming out killing. When I say they were singing.
They were.
And the people was just like, okay, that's beautiful. But when Mama Burks came out, when I tell you cell phones came out, like, when some of these older people, when they got it, they just got it.
And she still has that showmanship and that stage presence that you're looking for, like, immediately. We've got 2 more minutes.
I'm telling you, but in gospel, we have to respect that. We have to respect that in gospel. We gotta respect that.
Foundation is everything.
And you gotta respect longevity in any industry these days because absolutely commitment. So we got 2 minutes left. I wanna bring to the table in real quick form, 45 seconds a person. Tell me what you think about the way that the young man and the little run-in with Kim Burrell happened in the previous episodes, the audition episodes, and how that was handled, and how does that look to have that kind of controversy come to the surface on a gospel music competition show?
I'll say it's unfortunate on one end that you have that, because honestly, I really think it made Donna McClurkin and Kim Burrell look bad, regardless of what happened and what was the real situation. But what we saw, it just looked bad. And so it is good that they kind of reconciled and they apologized. And I even saw something where Kim Burrell at a concert on YouTube, she began to talk about what happened, and she said not to throw BET under the bus, but she was trying to protect herself. But at the end of the day, you do have to respect these people that come in audition, because it's a process. I mean, some of us waited in lines, and you driving all the way somewhere, and then you got somebody not really paying attention to you or laughing at you or whatever was happening, or at anybody else. I felt them. Like, I really did. I totally agree, but I think the real deal was they tuned out because they already knew what they were going to say. So at that point, they already had in their mind what they wanted to do. So they moved.
I can't imagine what a vulnerable space that must be to put yourself out there for any audition, much less for something that's internationally televised. So you do have a point. Duard, your thoughts?
I'm with David. I'm with Dayton. I think he's right. But, the other side of that is, I've been a preliminary judge too. And as you're sitting there, sometimes it's difficult. I got ADD. So having to hear thousands and thousands of people sing songs, that could just drive you crazy. So I understand both sides of it. And it is certainly something that you want to be cautious of, because you don't want anybody to perceive that they don't have your, that you are clowning them, and it could be as they said about their history and something else, and they probably tuned out in part because they had all they could hear. you know, and so I get that. I understand all of that, but you know, so it's a very tough line to walk. But I certainly agree with Dathan.
I totally agree
When you
too.
come to you're vulnerable, it's really hard to stand because
Hold on.
you're waiting on the people you love and respect to
Yeah.
tell you they appreciate your gift, and that's that's hard for anybody to stand there and kind of almost like be rejected immediately. So it's a tough situation. It's a tough call, but the last thing I would say is, please don't spend your rent money. That's all I say.
Listen, but that's what now that's what I want to say.
Don't spend your rent money.
That's what I want to say. I totally agree. Don't spend your rent money. But how did you end up in another city to even make an apology? Is my
Because somebody
question.
raised some money. But wait.
So, but listen, but that's not the question at hand. That's not the question at hand. So I definitely agree with both these guys. I think it's definitely two sides. One never knows the truth unless you're there. So hey, I agree with what they're saying 100%. It's two sides to this thing, and they both kind of just covered it all. I agree.
Yeah.
And with that, what are you looking for in these next episodes? What would really make this more enjoyable and entertaining for you? Since you all say tonight was kind of lackluster for you, what do you want to see out of these remaining?
What I do like is that they kind of they show they're going to have duets. I think that's going to be interesting. That's interesting. That's new. That's something we haven't seen before. Right. So I'm very excited to see that because that kind of brings another element to the table that's different than the same thing we've been seeing for the past seasons. So I'm excited to see the duets, and I'm looking forward to kind of see what's going to happen with all of that.
I missed it. I didn't hear nothing about duets.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm excited about that. That's going to be good.
Yeah.
That's
what's going to be interesting is the pairing, though. Like, how are you pairing them? That's
yeah. I wonder if it's going to be random, but basically they're pairing people up and they're competing against each other.
That's tough.
I'm assuming that the two can't go home. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm very intrigued.
Do you think they'll do it like American Idol, where how they put them in the groups?
Teams. No, it said basically. I saw where one group was saying, "Hey, if anybody's going home, we aren't going home."
But do you think that's really what it is?
We about to see.
That's gonna be exciting. I'm excited to see that. That's gonna be great.
I'm already excited about it, and this is really good for the show. It is really good for the show because it brings a different element to the show that we haven't seen before, and that keeps people interested. And so, just for that one reason, I cannot miss next show.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to get out of here. We got so much more to discuss next week about the next episode that we'll see of Sunday Best and your Best of Sunday Evening programming. Before we get out of here, each of you give your Twitter name and your handle. And like Dewar, you have a single out. Tell us what you're working on.
Oh, okay. You can find me on Twitter at DURWARDDAVIS. Twitter and Instagram. I got a single available on iTunes, Amazon.com, wherever digital music is being sold, you can find it. The single is called That's When You Bless Me. Dewar Davis, everybody. I love you. Bye.
Well, my handle is my name, DATHANTHIGPEN. Everywhere is Dathan Thigpen, Instagram, Twitter, all of the above. And I am currently in the studio. As we talk on these forums, I'm going to give a little more information about what's going on with me. But as of April, the DVD to this play I was just in, Tyler Perry's Medea's Neighbors from Hell, just released. So go get it. I'm really excited about jumping in some acting things. So go support that. And we'll talk about a little later about what's going on with the studio, what I'm doing in the studio.
And the little fella that you're holding there is
this is Ian. He was asleep, and now he's awake. And you saw the other one running back and forth. That's Noah. They may or may not be with us through this journey. Say, hey, Ian. Okay, all right.
My handle is also my name. It's David Michael 77. That's Instagram, Twitter, and you can find me on Facebook at Team David Michael. And
the artist formerly known as David.
Whatever.
Listen. He is the Aspen Price of this season.
Listen.
He has a stage name.
That's not true. Because it's not a stage name. My mama named me David Michael Wyatt. Don't do it, homie.
I'm just messing with you, buddy.
Your point.
No, but y'all can follow me. I would love to stay connected with everybody. I have music that's surfacing and floating around out there as well. So definitely stay in contact because I have some things coming up as well.
Cool.
I'm Kenneth Mosley, and I'm on Google Plus. So
Really?
you can also hit me up on KennethMosley.com and Ken Mose everywhere else. Join us next week right here, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, at the end of the very first airing of Sunday Best. Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, y'all.